6. A few things here. Unless otherwise stated, you can only purchase whole quantities. Page 26. I'm going to give you an example. So let's say the square footage, the area of the walls in a room amount to 800 square feet. Okay. The area that a can of paint can cover, let's say it's 150 square feet. So this is going to be a very classic thing that you want to consider. You're going to figure out the total volume or the total surface area or something like that. And then you'll be told, oh, okay, so now that you know that, if you want to buy carpet, if you want to buy paint, if you want to buy concrete or gravel, it doesn't matter. It'll say it comes in cans that cover 150 square feet in this case, or they will say concrete comes in loads of 30 cubic yards. So you need to figure out how many loads you need to order, things like that. If you want to figure out number of cans, you would go total area divided by area of can. That's the coverage, by the way, how much a can can cover. Okay? So in this case, it would be 800 divided by 150. So you go 800 divided by 150. So that's 5.33. See what I mean? So a lot of students want to go straight to the cost there. But first do this part where you figure out how many you need to buy. Right? And then you will say, how many would you need to buy? How many cans if you need 5.33? 6. You will always round up. No exceptions here. Even if you had 5.0001, like if you need at all a little bit more than 5, you'll round it up to 6. Okay, so this is a very important concept. And then you'll figure out the cost. Cost is 6 cans times, let's say, it costs $50 a can. So it'll be $300. Do you remember the taxes? I talked about taxes when you did your study sheet. There's 5% GST. Okay, so I will just say GST. They will always tell you this, so you don't have to remember 5%. But we multiply by 1.05 if you want to add GST. If you want to do PST, actually it's called RST now. That's 12%. So you would multiply your work by 1.12. I'm going to box this in. This is kind of like an aside. You have to read carefully if you're given prices at all, guys, at all. You want to see, does it say $50 including taxes? Like it's already included? Or does it say $50 plus tax? If it says $50 plus tax, you're going to want to add taxes to it, okay? Or if it says $50 before taxes. So that's something that you need to remember. I will add this here. If you ever want a quick way to just figure out the area of the walls, you just want to paint the walls. So in a sense, like if you have a rectangular room and you know that this is 8 by 7, you can just go, what's the perimeter of this room? 2 times 8, right? Plus 2 times 7. That's 16 plus 14. That is 30. And let's put it somewhere on the side here that the height is 10 feet, let's say. So the area of the walls would be 30 times 10. 300 square feet. It's the easiest way to do it. Mr. Erickson, couldn't I have used the 2 times length times width plus 2 times width times height plus 2 times length times height? Yes. But remember that the width and height is the base and the top, so you would want to remove that, right? You wouldn't want to use the 2 times length times width on that one. So this is the shortcut for it. It's particularly helpful, make sure you write this down, if you have a room that is not a regular room. Let's say you have a room like this, an irregular room. This is not a rectangle, right? It's a piece kind of like cut out. This is the best candidate for this method. So you basically just figure out the perimeter of this, and then times the height, boom, you've got your area of all the walls. Okay. So remember that when you come across this, I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. Remember that the volume, by definition, is area of base times the height. That's another good one to have. Oh, I forgot something. Further up top, we're going to go to it right now. Do you remember number of coats in grade 11? Like if you want to put 2 coats on this wall, right? 2 passes. Let's go up here. What you want to do, okay? A lot of you are tempted to just, when it's 2 coats, you're just going to do your calculation. You're going to get to 6. You're going to multiply that by 2. If you want to put 2 coats on, don't do it here. You do it right here at the beginning, like the 800, like whatever the walls of the room would be, you multiply that by the number of coats. And this is why. If you were to paint this room, let's say our room right here is 800 square feet, the walls, and you need 5.33 cans. So you'll open 5 cans, you'll do, right, as much as you need. For 1 coat, you're going to use 5.33 cans, right? What are you going to do with that leftover? You're going to start your second coat with a leftover, right? You're going to save. If you round to this and then multiply that by 2, you're now buying way more than what you need, right? Because you are going to use that leftover to start painting your second coat. So where am I going to add it? I'm going to do this. Multiply by number of coats. If you're ever painting, you want to do that right here. So if it's just one coat, if it doesn't mention 2 coats, then forget about it. It's just times 1, right? 800 times 1, it's 800. But if it wanted multiple coats, you need to make sure you do that right here. Okay. All right. Let's put this to the test, okay?